Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today, roided out cavalry takes on roided out infantry as the Viper, playing as the Franks in yellow, prepares to duke it out with Barles, playing as the Vikings in blue. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate explorables and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age. Not a bad time for us to take a look at the sim matchup that we are going to be watching today. Now, the Franks are an OG cavalry civilization harkening all the way back to the last freaking century. Their knights come with extra line of sight. Their stables can be upgraded to work much faster, and all of their mounted units get extra HP starting in the Feudal Age. Now, to support their heavy cavalry against annoying, pesky things like, I don't know, maybe some infantry units that might want to snipe them, the Franks can turn to their unique unit, the Throwing Axemen. This is a ranged infantry unit similar to the Malian Gebeto, whose range can be even further increased. Now, to help you train as many Throwing Axemen as possible, you're going to need a lot of castles, and for that, you might want a bit of a stone discount. And the Franks, man oh man, do they get a stone discount. Their castles cost 15% less stone in the Castle Age, and then 25% less stone in the Imperial Age. That help feed a big militaristic population. Frankish foragers do work faster than normal. We'll see that once a mill goes up and villagers get allocated here to the berries to the back. And speaking of mills going up, all of their mill upgrades come free of charge. Now let's take a look at the south of the map, where we've got Barles also playing an OG civilization. Unlike the Franks and their cavalry, the Vikings do primarily focus on their infantry. Starting in Feudal Age, they also get 20% more HP, much like Frankish cavalry units. Deer got a little bit shocked there by the villager and ran the hell away. As I was mentioning, they got a little bit distracted by the deer and the boar and all of that good stuff. Their infantry get 20% more HP, and they can be upgraded to get in a nice +5 attack boost against cavalry, which, might be bad news bears for our Frank. By the way, this +5 attack boost does also benefit their unique unit, the Berserker, a durable, well-armored, strong infantry unit whose health automatically regenerates. Now, infantry units, as you know, do generally move a little bit slowly on the battlefield, so to help protect them, help complement them on the field of battle, Viking archer line units can be upgraded to get a small +1 attack boost. Now, for the Vikings, economically, to help them afford and pay for their military endeavors, they get the wheelbarrow and handcart upgrades free of charge, so they hit the ground economically running in Feudal and in Castle Age. And their infantry, which already come with a few nifty features, can be upgraded even more to earn gold when they kill villagers and maybe monks. Definitely trade units, but probably not going to see trade units in this game, not in a 1v1. So we've got a nice little battle here between two very powerful civs, one with an infamous mill bonus, another with an infamous wheelbarrow handcart bonus, which again basically makes the Viking economy run on steroids. The second, it's like the Vietnamese getting conscription for free. You hit Imperial, you start pumping out military units like never before. Similar economic principle period. I guess that sentence ends there. In any event, 5.5 minutes into the game, both players sitting at 17 villagers a pop, both going up to 18. Let's take a look at the attack path between the two bases, because the map looks fairly large. This is not your average tiny map, I don't think. This is a pretty substantial piece of real estate between the two players. Wacka go the scouts. Unfortunately, the Viper on the low ground takes a bit more of a beating than his opponent. Speaking of, secondary gold, secondary stone, nice and secure to the back. Primary stone, primary gold in the forward position, but a nice little hat shape of forest helps protect that gold. And then the tertiary gold very much in the forward position, completely off campus. Speaking of forests, let's zoom out a little bit. Not very helpful here is the foliage, the complete western side of Barles' base open as he now shoos away the Viper scout, who, as we saw, is already weak. What is the Viper doing here? The scout looks like he's playing a little bit of hopscotch. One half a tile move this way, one half a tile move that way. Do these villagers have loom? Yes, they do. So no wonder the Viper does not want to engage with his half dead or 2/3, maybe 1/3 dead. Would it be? I guess it would technically be 1/3 dead scout if you're missing 1/3 of your HP, right? 2/3 dead would basically mean he'd be at 15 HP. Well, there you go. Welcome to Cast of Empires. If you're new here to my stream of consciousness thought, and we learn together mathematics, various facts about trees and stuff like that. In any event, all joking aside, primary stone very much exposed for the Viper in the forward position. Primary gold a little bit off to the side next to a forest, so we'll see if he decides to wall that in or not. Extra stone and extra gold off to the right side of the map. And where, oh, where is your third patch of gold? Why am I having so much difficulty finding it? Because it's all the way to the bottom left here, annoyingly placed on a hill. Is this 4 patches? Is this 3? Is this 18 patches? You never can really tell with the elevation in this game. The base, speaking of open, as Barles is open to the west, the Viper is pretty much open to the south. This forest here, not going to be very helpful. He agrees, and his wall off, bit of a funnel shape to make sure Barles has to run through the TC, has already begun. And now he's trying to bust in here. Where is the Viper Scout? The Viper Scout's on the other side of the map. Okay, heading home as a toucan, or whatever this is. Toucan Sam, a macaw, pardon me, flies over the battlefield. But with not 1 but 2 villagers repairing this, this is so annoying. There's not enough room here to move all of the villagers around. Well, I guess there is now. I feel like some of them are going to get stuck anyway. Okay, the tree went down at the perfect time. And so now this tiny constrained space has a little bit more elbow room. A little bit more, you know, any one of us who's ever taken the bus or the subway or the tram, whatever you call it in your country, the tram, the streetcar, the trolley, to work, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say elbow room. Man, oh man, do some of these rush hour mornings feel like absolute hell. And there you go, Stream of Consciousness back in action as both armies circling here. A few militiamen and a scout are returning home? Why are they returning home? We're in the Feudal Age. So instead of 40 HP, they come with 48 HP. And now we're in the Feudal Age, so instead of 45 HP, this scout comes with 54. So both add 20% to their respective specialities. Are we going to have our first kill of the game 12 minutes in as these skirmishers take a little bit of a beating from the scout archer units as well? But you don't really want to risk too many archer units here against these very cheap counter units who, to be fair, are pretty much half dead. The Viper rushes in, the Viper rushes out. The presence of 1 spearman is enough. He's not exactly 1 poke away from death. The spearman does deal 3 damage and then 15 bonus on top of that. Scout without armor right now would need 2 spearman pokes, so maybe he could have rushed in and killed one of these very low HP skirmishers, taken 1 poke from the spearman and run away, but the Viper not taking any risks at the moment. Kill count still 0-0. Villager populations 28 to 27 for our Frank, who automatically, by the way, gets horse collar, but our Viking automatically gets wheelbarrow. So a nice little battle of economic, well, let's not call them powerhouses. You know what? We will call them powerhouses. The Frankish mill bonus is insane. How well that, how much that adds to your farm without needing to pay for it. And I believe horse collar is the second upgrade that, pardon me, no, I know, how do I put this? Horse collar is the first upgrade. My goodness. Heavy plow, the second, I believe adds 1 more carrying space to villagers, in addition to adding even more food to the farms. Whereas having wheelbarrow and handcart for free, first kill of the game avenged immediately. Viper draws first blood, but then pays for it with a gold unit, 2 gold units, 3 gold units. But the spearman lies dead, which means these scouts can now run amok. And now having run amok, they can close in on the skirmishers. And bye javelin throwing skirmisher as the Viper takes a 7 kill lead to 4. What the hell was I rambling about a second ago? Oh yeah, no, these are 2 very much economic powerhouse civilizations. Even down villagers, which he's not anymore. Actually, now I guess he is. I guess the Viper, yeah, Barles has 16 seconds of TC idle time, which is why he is, even though training the exact same number of villagers, he's down 1 villager depending on when your eyes look up to the top of the screen. Does it fall into that 16 seconds or the other 9 seconds where he actually does catch up? But even if he's down 1 villager, the fact that the Viper doesn't have wheelbarrow means that his 34 villagers are actually a lot more productive than the Viper's 35. And that's my rant for the day. There you go. I hope there's some new people who are not who are watching these videos who are not completely dissuaded by my nonsense. I mean, I say nonsense, but it's ooh, this is open. Archers pop out, but the Viper hesitant to engage underneath the TC, runs away. What was the point of that? You knew where the TC was. You knew there was going to be a big structure that could potentially have a bunch of villagers inside practicing their bows and arrows on your units. Why did you run in there in the first place? And now he's running home with his scouts, perhaps not expecting such a sizable army. Sizable with an asterisk. And then if you read at the bottom of the page, the footnote, it'll be sizable for Feudal Age. As Barles is already heading up to castle. And once he heads up to castle, that second rectangle underneath that wheelbarrow icon will light up and he will have handcart gratis, free of charge. If the Viper can kill these two spearmen, his scouts should be able to pounce. Let's look at their HP. I mean, one of these guys needs to be put out to pasture here. 3 HP on this scout means he should be on the other side of the map looking for relics, resources, elevation, any attack paths, any defensive paths. He should not be here trying to sandwich this body of Viking soldiery. But there you go. He literally died immediately. He literally died immediately. I didn't even have a chance to blink and he died. But you know what? Spearman down as well, which means for the second time, the Viper clears up Barles' army, takes a 15-6 kill lead. At the same time, he is walling off very much a nice big horizontal line on the left, on the right. Not really very much happening. There's that handcart upgrade that automatically lights up. So Barles down 36 villagers, but he's in castle, which means he can train villagers, whereas the Viper's still a minute 45 seconds away from being able to train villagers. And that's what's a minute 45 seconds? That's 105 seconds, right? 60 and 45, 105 divided by 25. That's about 4 villagers he can train in that time. Barles, who uses his castle age uptime to train a few knights. Here we go. Now, this is going to be one of the rare instances. I think I mentioned it last couple of days ago when we watched the Franks, where the Franks are taking on a civilization without bloodlines. And so their knights who, against the civ with bloodlines, are generally just basically on par, are actually going to be superior here because that 100 HP gets boosted by 20. And by the way, you don't have to pay the 150 resources for bloodlines, unless I guess you're now the Pole, and then they're cheaper, the Chinese, etc. You get that free of charge for the Franks. We're now getting pushed into here. At the same time, though, our Frank trying to bust into here as well. Not too sure he's going to find very much purchase here. That being said, not too sure these skirmishers are going to be able to do too much damage here. Oh, never mind. They pick off another archer. I mean, Barles is just throwing away archers left, right, and center. He's going up to 8 knights. And now he is besieging these lumberjacks who, for the second time in a row, second time this game, find themselves stuck behind a bunch of palisades. And it looks like the Viper's expeditionary force wiped off the face of the earth. 4 knights running around, 4 archers firing on the villagers. Barles does not have the inclination to get Bodkin. He does not have the inclination to upgrade his archers to crossbowmen. I am hearing structures being deleted and falling all over the places now. The Viper runs these knights out of town. 100 HP to 120. The Viper's at a +1/+1. Barles doesn't have any attack upgrades, but does have +1 armor. So the Viper, more HP, better attack, but low ground. Gotta be careful. Another engagement. I don't think Barles is going to get wiped off the map this time. That being said, the Viper is getting husbandry, so he's going to be able to chase this army a lot longer than the Viking can run away, because the Viking does not even get husbandry. Which is, begs the question, what is Barles doing going knight play here? I mean, we saw yesterday's game with Hera going cavalry archers, and I was mentioning how, because they're missing some real significant Imperial Age upgrades, you can kind of tell that the player wants to go all in Castle Age. But these Viking knights, they're missing Feudal Age upgrades. So I don't really know what the hell the name of the game here is for our Viking for now. He's clawed his way. Now he's ahead 6 villagers. He's down 7 army count. The Viper has gone up to 3 town centers, monastery out any monks. Yes, 1 heading to the front lines here. Now it's the Viper's turn to finally shoot away some villagers. Villager kill count is 3-1 as these Viking Knights return. Now, if they had the extra +2 line of sight that the Frankish Knights come with, they would have seen that TC. But the way they're maneuvering, they see nothing, Jon Snow. Will the Viper even get a single villager here? Man, oh man, skirmishers. Gotta love them. They try their darndest. On the other side of the map. Ooh, the Viper not quick enough to wall Barles' Knights out, but Barles didn't need to be walled out. He himself decided against pursuing that avenue of attack. The Viper's busted into here. I mean, at this point, his skirmishers should be able to kill a villager or two. They've certainly been softening them up for the last 2 or 3 minutes. But he instead goes after, again, the gold-rich targets of the archer units. And our Viking going pikeman. Another house falls. The Viper is making very slow but steady progress into this primary gold of his opponent. It looks like the 2 knights ran away from a monk. Monk gets the RNG, gets the healthier knight, but he's going to pay the price with his life. And we'll see whether or not Barles decides to take the fight. Again, without husbandry, this Frankish knight will be able to catch up. It is not a villager, it is a monk who dies on the other side of the map. It's still 3-1 Vil kills. And the Viper pivots to the left with 1 knight, perhaps exploring. Look at it, a great line of sight on these Frankish knights, by the way. Super cool feature. Line of sight is very underrated as a feature in Age of Empires. Here comes another rant, by the way. I believe it's the Tatars, whose cavalry archers come with +2 line of sight. Man, oh man, is that going to come in helpful in the next stage of this beautiful, venerable games meta where everyone's going to start going Scorpions, because having +2 line of sight on your cav archers means you can still go cav archers, and you'll actually, I believe, see the Scorpions coming, as opposed to everyone else's cav archers who are going to get waylaid by Scorpions. Viper has made himself at home. What are these 2 yellow dots? Not villagers, they are knights. There is no structural follow-up to this push, though, so the Viper needs to get some damage done. He's down 11 villagers. He's ahead army. There's a random mangonel here. What the hell do you need a mangonel for? The skirmishers? No way. Villager kills were 1-3. Now they're 5-3. And the Viper, having done damage, runs away, exits stage top left. At the same time, gets cleared up at the bottom here. Pikeman, game changer, 20% more HP. And with the Chieftain's upgrade, man, oh man, what a beautiful Castle Age upgrade. By the way, the Viper is leading his opponent straight. Again, if this was a Frankish knight, he would have seen that siege workshop, but he doesn't. And the Viper is going Scorpions and Ballistics as the Franks. You gotta love these players. You gotta love these players. What the hell is special about the Franks and their Scorpions? Absolutely freaking nothing, right? Watch somebody realize that there actually is something special about the Franks and their Scorpions. And I look like a complete idiot. Castle, 4th town center, going up for our Viking. Players disengage for a little bit here at the 30-minute mark of the game. But the Viper with 588 stone, he's in castle. I believe that is enough. It's currently the same cost as an Incan castle. But you know what? I know it's the Viper. I know he's one of the greatest players of all time of this game. According to some, the greatest player of all time in this game. But man, oh man, have I noticed that when he goes Scorpions and just siege generally, he has a rough time defending his siege units. There might have been in the last month 2 or 3 games that he's played, this being the 3rd or 4th, where he's gone siege, and in every single one of those games, knights run in and absolutely demolish his siege. Castle going up for our Frank as well, who finds himself housed at 115 population. The pikeman focusing on 2 villagers. The Viper happy to oblige. Hey, if you want to attack 2 of these 10 villagers, feel frickin' free. While the ones to the right continue to work away at the castle. 72%. We'll keep an eye on that progress bar. Looks like our Viking is adding a second castle of his own. And the Viper loses his army, but the castle 92, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going up. And yet again, loses another Scorpion. Will lose another Scorpion? No. You like how I turned that into a question by the lilt or whatever it is of my voice? Will he lose another Scorpion? There you go. You see, I'm not so cocky that I think I can predict everything. This Scorpion definitely is going to get got, if not by the pikeman, then by the giant freaking structure here or here that is firing multiple arrows at it. Now, the Viper has placed the castle in the middle of nowhere. I think I thought with my little eye, I have spied a throwing axeman. Okay. Got villager on villager violence here. Viper plopping down a bunch of outposts. So he's going to see the monk on the left. Beautiful location for these outposts. And he's going to catch this Viking monk. By the way, the Viper slowly but surely has accumulated 4 relics. Throwing axeman moving a little bit far afield. But the villager is drawing these units into a bit of a trap. Or maybe not a trap. He sees another construction project but doesn't really know what it is. And now the Jaguar, who had his eyes fixed hungrily on the yellow villager, attacks the blue villager. Pikeman joined in the fight, poke the Jaguar's butt, and down goes the Jaguar at the same time, throwing Axeman Knight, who I believe make a pretty good combo together, if I'm not mistaken. Take out a villager or 2 down south. This castle, will it go up before this high ground Scorpion bites the dust? It does not. And our Viking can do naught but stare at the villagers as he builds his 3rd castle of the game. Where is the one knight? He has survived. Pikemen are going to surround this throwing axeman. He gets one of them, but virtue of numbers alone in the Age of Empires, he pays for it with his life. And now, so will the knight and all of the offensive force of the Viper, despite one monk looking for relics on the right, is gone. And the Viper's army count stands at a massive 3. He's going up to Imperial. How many siege workshops does our Frank have? 5 siege workshops. Now, I know it's not going to happen. I know it's not the smartest of things to do. I know I'm going to catch flack for saying it. But I really want our Viking to go cavalry archer right now. Again, it would be an atrocious idea. No bloodlines, no husbandry, no thumb ring, no Parthian tactics. Not even heavy cav archer. But what I would love to see is new meta versus newer meta. I would love to see these Scorpions, who I'm assuming are going to be heavy, even though he doesn't have even a remote fraction of the resources he needs for heavy Scorpion. The upgrade, that is. I would have loved to see some Castle Age cavalry archers versus Scorpions, but Gambesons and infantry will do just fine for about 5 seconds. And then they're going to run face first into a clump of a dozen Scorpions. Probably shit their pants, die, and then run away. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, come on. This is just meant to be on. This has to be on purpose. I don't know what message Barles is intending to send to the Viper. Anything you can do, I can do maybe better. Anything you can do, I can do better. What's the second line? I can do anything better than you. Okay, heavy Scorpion for our Frank. Champions for our Viking, who is going to regret his decision in literally a second. That being said, if the Franks can close, if the champs can close, they will have a 17 attack against a unit with 1 melee armor. 16 damage, needs only 4 attacks to kill a Scorpion. And we'll see if our Viking, by the way, even lets him. Also, Vikings have, which, okay, I see going up, being researched right now, onagers with siege engineers. So they should be able to outrange those Frankish Scorpions. Not exactly Khmer Kamai with their 9 range. They're going to be stuck at 8, assuming he also has, no, he doesn't have his siege engineers in play just yet. Both players sitting at the exact same villager population, 130 to 131. Viper's going up to a baker's dozen. 13, now 15. Scorpions as he clears up a few of these champions, but look at how little damage the throwing axeman is doing to these champions. Oh my goodness, run away. Run away. Do you have bearded axe? You do not have bearded axe. Upgrades missing for both players here. Not that Chieftains is going to be any good right now, because I don't think the Viper's gotten more than these 2 knights. And something tells me he is going to... We know the Viper. This game is going to be Scorpions. He's going to try to ram these Scorpions down the Vikings' throat. It's not exactly mead, but you're going to take your medicine nonetheless. As, oh no, the wall off incomplete. I don't know when Barles put up these stone walls, but he didn't complete this one. Or no, he completed this one, but maybe he mined out this one patch. Doesn't really matter when, why, or how. The Viper gets the last of the stone miners. Our Frank has also added a bombard cannon, something that I believe the Franks do not get. Yeah, pardon me, oh my goodness. Lately, I've just been confusing civilizations, the words. Everything else is, I think I'm okay with. These guys do come with an attack bonus, small though it is, against buildings. So they're going to be cleaning up outposts and houses, a very western castle here for our Vikings. See, I remember the name of the civilization. The Viper selling a bunch of crap so he can afford bearded axe and architecture. And he sees it, by the way, with his outpost. So he knows there's going to be a castle going up here. Monk bites the dust against those 2 throwing axemen. Not only do I want to kill your stone miners, I want to make sure they never mine stone again. But the real action, the real battle is happening here to the center. Scorpions somehow manage. Oh no, pardon me, not Scorpions. It's the bombard cannon has been managing to get those onagers. And this is what happens. The onager with the greater range. 8+1 to 7+1. So both players now have siege engineers. If he can catch a clump of scorpions, there you go. He needs a villager or 2 here to help repair, but this is a lot of champions. 34 champions. The entirety, -1, of the Viking infantry force is going where? Center be damned. Oh, he's going to abuse the slow movement speed of these scorpions and attack to the north. This is amazing. You're using slow units to outmaneuver even slower units. But let's see if the Viper can keep picking off. I felt like that should have hit there. Well, that definitely hit, and that should have hit there as well. Can the Viper pick off more and more of these onagers? And now our Viking is getting armor upgrades for his melee cavalry. He's training 9 onagers at a time. And that's the thing with onagers. You just need one shot, one opportunity to M&M your opponent's army. But if you're not paying attention, the melee unit that is the throwing axeman will close and kill you. So Barles pivoted up north. Unfortunately, he waited a little bit too long to get any kind of damage done, perhaps waiting for his onagers a little bit too long. And that gave the Viper an opportunity to show up. Now he's going up to elite throwing axemen. He's getting squires and blast furnace for them. So they're going to be able to move much faster, hit much harder. And if I'm not mistaken, we saw bearded axe, right? So they do have 4 range instead of shitty 3. So not exactly crappy Mameluke range, but a little bit better. Looks like one of the 4 center siege workshops has fallen. Barles needs to target these immediately. The last thing the Viper wants to do if he's spending his wood on scorpions, who, to be fair, are not super duper wood intensive. The last thing he wants to be doing right now is spending wood rebuilding his structures. And so if you can start taking away his resources and forcing him to build military industrial versus actual military. Monk, 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 monk. Why didn't you attack the monk? Great move out of Barles, focusing these siege workshops. So the Viper, you see, he's got to replace them. Poor onagers are just not... They're just not getting the shots they need. 1 kill for 5 onagers. And our Viking is going light cavalry. Okay, this must be for the bombard cannons, right? Random houses and outposts to the north. This outpost is finally being gotten, but it reveals to the Viper that his opponent is starting to add in light cavalry units. Man, these onagers, it really makes you appreciate the Mongol drill upgrade when you see how slow everyone else's siege units move. Two of the cockiest champions, a third, are going on a nice one-way trip. No return ticket booked for you. They don't even get the BBC. Ooh, just 2 more attacks needed. Oh, fancy schmancy maneuvering. Fancy schmancy maneuvering. They close. They go after the weak one. No, they don't go after the weak one. A confused and jumbled and weird attack there out of Barles nets him absolutely nothing but a loss of his own units. Champions, though, are fully upgraded. Instead of 70 HP, they do come with 84, which does help them survive a little bit longer against throwing axemen, who don't exactly attack on the highest. Ooh, champs die. Another castle going up. The Viper going up to 18 scorpions. Barles preemptively pulls his gold miners, and he's now going to relocate to this gold patch that the Viper also wants to take, but Viking guard tower is already up. Okay. I didn't notice. I should have noticed that Barles has destroyed that monastery. Viper repairing it, rebuilding it, pardon me. But in the forward position, Ark of the Covenant getting lowered into its secret hiding chamber. And in come more light cavalry, but there's the ballistics upgrade. There's the ballistics upgrade for you. Ouch. Ouch. Ouch, 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 is all I can say. This isn't even the biggest of meat shields here. The Viper's army relying more on the weaker enemy army than on the strength of its own army, I feel like. And these light cavalry units are doing a lot of running. They're not doing a lot of killing. What do I see? 1 scorpion here? Let's make it 2 just to be generous. Bunch of scorpions here hanging out next to a bombard cannon. Light cavalry unit will get decimated by a few throwing axemen. The Viper being very careful. Where are his long range units? He's got 2 BBCs over here. We saw the one over here. And he's got a Treb. Still unpacked. Still doing nothing. And let's see what he can accomplish here. The Viper. He is pressing in. This Viking base has been cracked open. All of these stables. He does have 60 villagers on food. And now he's engaging underneath a castle yet again. Does manage to clear up for the first time, I think, this entire game. Barles actually manages to clear up the Viper's army, but then he himself gets cleared up. And in they come. And what the hell does our Viking have to even defend against this? Where are his 4 onagers? Okay, his Trebs are here, but they're undefended and alone. Their massive 1 melee armor is not going to help them at all against these throwing axemen, and Barles just threw away 1,600 resources down the shitter. And down they go. Did they at least get the castle? They didn't even get the castle. Ouch. Here they come. Onagers. Let's see what they can get done here. Nothing, as 2 of them die. 2 of them left. 1 in the forward position. Not too sure where the other one is. Okay, it's on the high ground, shelling away. But look at the army counts, and let's... yeah, look at the army counts right as I say that. GG, the Viper. New meta for the win here. Again, nothing particularly special about the Frankish Scorpion. Trying to think, no discounts. Nothing like that. Well, that was a very, very fun game. Unfortunately for our Viking, not a lot of long range options to snipe those bombard cannons, who I feel like have, what, 25, 30 onager kills under their belts at this point. Our Viking tried, Barles tried with those longer range onagers. Again, they have 1 extra tile of range, 8+1 to 7+1. But unfortunately, there's no meat shield against... I mean, he's screwed right up close and from a distance. He's screwed up right up close. He has nothing to defend against these throwing axemen. These light cavalry may as well be Dravidian without Woot Steel for all that they're missing upgrades. And he has no defense against long range. So perhaps not the greatest of examples of the new meta, but like I said, the second I saw one Siege Workshop, I guess it was here or here, somewhere in this area, and then the second one go up behind that castle, I knew the Viper was going to double down on this new meta of Scorpions with ballistics, and man, oh man, did he ever. And with those Scorpions, he manages to crush through the Viking army. Look at the kill count, not even close, almost double. 288 to 152, villager kills 40 to 11. So villager kills not really that important or decisive for the result of the game. They all both end up actually with the exact same villager count, 123 to 124, but no answer to the defense of the Scorpions. No answer to the throwing axemen. No answer to the bombard cannon. How many kills on the Scorpions themselves? 38 kills. Now, again, I know it sounds stupid, but would have loved to see some Cav Archers. Maybe in the next couple of days, we'll see. Maybe the Viper, maybe Hera, maybe Mr. Yo, MBL, Hart, Sebastian, any of them. We'll see whether or not they decide to engage into Cavalry Archers versus Scorpions. And then we'll have ourselves a real battle of, like I said, new meta versus newer meta. Let's take a look at the stats. 80 throwing axemen, 62 Scorpions. Again, not something you would have seen before the latest patch, and also not something you would have seen. The third most trained unit is the cavalry for the Franks, and the most trained unit is the cavalry for the Vikings. Poor Vikings, not able to actually close in on those Scorpions. Only 47 champions. Why do I feel like it was like a lot more than that? This number seems very low to me. It should have been like in the 80s or 90s, given how long. Maybe they were just maneuvering a lot more than they were attacking. PKPM for the Viper, Hera level in the beginning of the game. Right at the end of the game for Barles, as he was probably microing on multiple fronts. Losing those 4 trebs here was a real kick to the nuts. That was just unfortunate and unnecessary. Viper gets the scarce resources just by a little bit. He does have 2,300 more gold thanks to the relics that he's gathered. He also gets more wood, but the Viking does get more food. Well, there you go. Yeah, he got something. The economy's not too dissimilar, and Barles, despite the deficit in 3 of the 4 resources, actually gathers a lot more. If you remove the 2,300 gold difference from the relics, that's about 7 or 8% bigger economy for the Vikings. And there you go with their wheelbarrow and handcart upgrades. 5 conversions to 8, 24 raisings to 19. What an absolute fun game, and hopefully a game that heralds in a new, maybe short age where Scorpions become very, very fun to watch and very, very hard to beat. But somebody, oh, I know somebody, I'm looking at you, Red Phosphoru, for example, will come up with some kind of fun strategy with this. Because again, the Scorpion, wood and gold, ballistics, wood and gold, and Red Phosphoru strategies are all about that wood and gold. So we'll see if somebody develops something to perfect this, or we'll see if somebody develops something to counter this. Maybe with some Turkish bombard cannons, or maybe with some, I don't know, Tatar trebs with Timurid siegecraft. He could have withstood the assault and gotten rid of the long-range defenders and then figured out a way to deal with the short-range defenders. Unfortunately, Barles was not able to here. The Vikings not lending themselves to doing that, and every attempt to onager down, it looks like these 2 Scorpions, by the way, are literally about to die. Any attempt to onager down those Scorpions was met with immediate sniping and immediate death by our Frank. And with that immediate, absolute wanton destruction and mayhem, double the total kill count, thanks in no part to the new meta of the ballistic Scorpions. Man, did we see them shred through cavalry and champion alike. The Viper takes the W, but GG to both players.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.